Hey awesome ones, Heather here. You know, the other day I heard J-Lo talking about aging backwards, and it wasn't the first time that I've heard somebody talking about aging backwards, and I really believe in this, so I got 10 tips for you on aging backwards, and it all starts in just a few seconds. So what is J-Lo and everybody talking about when they say they're aging backwards? Well, in J-Lo's case, she said she turned 50 and she said, I'm 29, so hey, well, she looks fantastic, let's face it. But if she can go back, 21 years? We should be able to move backwards maybe by 10 years. So right now, I'm 64 years old and I've never had any needles or any surgery like that. And a lot of people think I look okay for my age, and many people think I'm in my 50s, so that's great. So I guess it's okay for me to tell you how we can not only feel like we're moving backwards in age, but also look like we're aging backwards. And I really think that looking like you're aging backwards is a good thing, you know, as long as we're not into the cut-off shorts and the micro mini skirts. But let's look at tip number 1. So if you are what you eat, then we gotta start, especially for more mature women, we have to start eating a bit better. We've got to get more greens and more nutrients into us, and more fruits. And you know, I remember 5 years ago, I am aging backwards because I was eating a lot of sugar then. My husband, who's behind the camera, I don't know, he walks the dog 3 times a day, he exercises, he plays hockey, and he just stays in shape, but he eats desserts every single night. And so I was doing that too, and then finally I went, this sugar is not good for me. So now I do eat my greens, my fruits, and also I'm only eating desserts usually just on the weekends. We got to have a little bit of sweetness in life, but I'm not a big one for eating broccoli all the time or kale all the time. So what I've done is I figured out some great smoothie recipes, and one of them is using kale, and also, you know, great strawberry and banana smoothies. And I did a video on that. I'm going to put the link up there for you so you can take a look at it. So yeah, let's move on to number 2. So number 2 is get your beauty sleep. You know, if you're like me, you might have busy brain. That's another thing about Bill. Like, you just go, his head hardly even hits the pillow and he's asleep. And I'm still like, whoa. But I had to learn a way without sleeping pills or anything like that to kind of calm my busy brain. So I don't watch anything stimulating like a scary movie or even the news, you know, just before I go to bed. I usually watch something funny like a late night talk show. But even as I'm trying to relax, I need some kind of background noise to kind of drown out my own voice inside my head that's always yakking, you know, tomorrow's schedule is this, and we got to do this, and what about that video? Anyway, you probably know what I'm talking about. But what I do is I put on the TV really low on probably what I think anyway is a boring show. So sometimes it's a documentary with a voice kind of like this about the cheetah and how the cheetah is the fastest animal, or these are turtles under the water, something that I'm really not all that interested in. And I find that I just doze off because I'm hearing the little bit of noise. And a lot of other people, what they do instead of taking sleeping pills is they have like one of those white noise machines, or some people have a machine that, you know, they've got birds singing. I don't know. There's all kinds of different things, but I would really think that if you have insomnia or you can't sleep, might be a good idea to really look into this and get those 8 hours of shut-eye in. So for number 3, let's look at some fun stuff now. Let's talk about fashion and style. And yeah, I know for a fact that a lot of times we get in a rut, and a lot of people like over 50, well, I got to tell you, I'm 64 and there are no moo-moos for me or sensible ugly shoes. Sensible nice looking shoes are just fine, and we need that, but none of that. And again, I'm not saying, oh well, dress like the teenagers dress. You know, you can dress in a dress. You know, I'm wearing a red dress right now and I feel fantastic. And let's talk about our hair. Who says, and you would not believe how many people tell me to cut my hair. Hey, you're over 50, you should be cutting your hair. These are my natural, it may not be looking great today, but it's really humid outside, but this is my natural curly hair. This is my natural hair color. I'm not going to chop it off and look like everybody else. So be authentic you know, get back into a little style again, rock those blue jeans, and you know, just get out there and put that spring back in your step. So when I saw J-Lo and she was talking about aging backwards, I remembered that I'd seen something like this on TV before. And so I decided to Google it, and I found out that there's a book out. It's called Aging Backwards, Reverse the Aging Process with 30 Minutes a Day. And we're going to put the link below for you. A lot of this is about exercise, but you know, like, you know, when you have a car, and I don't know if you've done this, I've done this when I was pregnant with one of my children, I just let my car sit there and it rusted out, and people are kind of like that too. We got to get those old joints moving and, you know, turn back the clock as far as movement is concerned. So what I do, and everybody thinks I'm crazy who is around at the time, but I put on some music and I start dancing while I'm making dinner, and it's just the crazy dance, like almost the Elaine dance, but I'm having, Bill's laughing, but I'm having a lot of fun and I'm moving, and hey, I could be dancing for like 40 minutes straight, so that's kind of cool. But you know, there's other things that you do. I've got that Fitbit that I absolutely love, and I go for the 10,000 steps because then, you know, on the screen of the Fitbit, it does all this kind of fireworks and wow, you're great, and it's just, you know, you get out there and you start moving, and I think that that's one of the ways that we can truly age backwards. And there's other ways too. It doesn't have to be regimented. You don't have to, oh my gosh, I have to go to the gym at this time, or I have to ride this bike this time. No, you know, maybe you'll go swimming, or maybe you will join a yoga class with a lot of great people and you thoroughly enjoy it. It doesn't have to be regimented. It just has to be fun, and sometimes it's simply just dancing like no one's watching. So let's talk about our faces. And hey, if you're not moisturizing your face every single night, it's never too late to start. Get going on that. And of course, I moisturize also, you know, my legs and my arms and my hands every single night as well. But let's talk about the faces. And as most of you know, at my age at 64, I've never had any plastic surgery or any needles. It's just not, if it's for you, that's cool, but it's just not for me. But I have found the power of makeup and I love makeup. You know, I don't have to put an awful lot on. And if you've seen my videos, you know that a lot of times I take all the makeup off and it's like, I literally look 20 years older without makeup, and that's okay. Around the house, I don't always have my full face on, but I've learned ways of getting my hooded eyes and doing a swoosh, and if you've got those kind of downturned eyes that happen as you get older, I'm going to put a link up there and you can take a look at a video that I did on just using some eyeshadow and bringing your eyes up. And there's so many things. And what about these age spots that we've got going on? You know, I don't want to just look at them all the time. I want to cover them up, and there's some great concealer that you can use for that, and just liven it up a little bit of contour here, maybe a little bit of highlight here, a little bit of red lipstick, and we're good to go. We look 10 years younger and we've aged backwards. So number 6 is protect yourself from those outside elements. And of course, I'm talking about the sun and those old days where we used to bake in the sun with, you know, the baby oil on us. Those are gone. And what we need to do now is we really have to protect ourselves. And again, I've done videos, you know what, might as well put that one up there as well, on how you need to use an SPF maybe 50 underneath your makeup as a primer. That's so important. And what about our lips? You know, you put the lipstick on, you go, oh, I'm good to go. But no, you need an SPF on your lips. And of course, the rest of your body you do too. And please pass this on to the rest of your family, especially, you know, the younger generation that just seems to, hey, I did the same thing kind of, but you know, I'm out of here, I'm going, and they're out for 5 hours and they come back with a burn, and it's so dangerous as they get older in life. And you know, there's things that really bad things, as we all know, health concerns about the sun, but we're looking at making the age spots worse. We're talking about real damage, wrinkles, and the other thing that I want you to do is make sure you're wearing your sunglasses, because we also have to protect our eyes, and maybe even a hat. So make sure you're taking care of that, and take care of your loved ones too. So number 7 is stretching and posture. Now the stretching is kind of like exercising, but every single morning I do my stretches before I basically get to my desk or anything like that. So do your stretches. Now, I also take supplements like calcium, and I think that's a really good thing. You might want to check with your doctor, but for a lot of women to do, because we tend to have those problems with our bones, and sometimes it's hereditary. I'm just thinking that if I take a bit of calcium, I do my exercises, I'm going to be maybe a little bit healthier. But the other thing, the most important thing is, you know, slouching, and you can actually get a hump in the back of your neck because you're slouching over a computer, or you're looking at your phone all the time, and you're not just, you know, getting the shoulders back and doing the posture the way that you should. And I think that this is a way to age backwards, because if you're not kind of walking around like this and you're walking a little straighter, you are going to look, and I think that your bones are going to, you know, not just kind of lock into this kind of position. And there are posture breaks posture braces that go underneath your clothes. And Bill, you've been wearing these, right? And at the desk, and you find them quite comfortable. Yeah, that's true. And actually, we thought that this was so important that we did do a video. I do a lot of videos, don't I? I'm going to put the link up there for you on how to wear the posture brace, and a little bit more about posture. And I think it's so important for aging backwards. And you know what, and also the posture break we'll put in the bottom here in the description, and also in our blog. So number 8 is water. Did you know that 60% of our bodies is water? And it's so important that we're constantly flushing out our systems. So the old thing about 8 to 10 glasses of water is still holding true. Now, I admit, it's hard. It's really hard to get the 8 to 10 glasses of water in. But I've got water beside my nightstand, consistent water during the day. If I'm at the desk or something, I got a water beside me right now in between takes. And also in my car, you know, wherever I'm going somewhere, I really try to bring some water with me. And you know, we talk about our bodies. Do you know that our blood is 90% water? And so that blood is taking oxygen everywhere, and of course we need our kidneys flushing out all the waste and everything. So it's so important, you know, to age backwards, that if our cells are really rejuvenating and changing and our blood is flowing, we got to be drinking the water and taking care of ourselves, because water, it really is our lifeblood. So number 9 is think ageless. Why are we using words like I'm retired, or I'm in retirement now. You know what? It just sounds so old. Why don't we just change it to, I ditched the 9 to 5. Like, that sounds really interesting. Or I'm in a new chapter of my life. We have to stop these stereotypes. What our birth certificate says does not define us, and we just have to sort of, if you find yourself going for the seniors discount on Thursday, you might want to rethink how you talk about that. You might say, well, it's discount Thursday, or think of something else. But in order to get ourselves aging backwards, we just have to let go of all of those old terms. So number 10 is join the pro-age movement. Now, I'm not talking about marching in the streets or signing petitions. I'm just talking about celebrating ourselves at this age. And you know, if you're on Instagram like I am, and it's Awesome Over 50, by the way, if you want to search it, but if you're on Instagram or Facebook or any of the social media, and you see somebody who's posting, you know, this is the healthy meal that I ate today, go ahead and like it and say, wow, that looks great. Or maybe somebody's running a marathon. You go out and cheer them on. Let's be the cheerleaders for this age group. And you know, there's so many other things. And if you see a woman with long hair over 50 growing out her silver hair, you know, maybe instead of shaming or being a hater, maybe just sort of say, wow, I love your silver hair, or you know, I like the curls, or whatever. Let's put a little bit more of that into social media, especially for the more mature women. And I think that even when you're not on social media, maybe you just go to work, or you go someplace and you see an older person and you really mean it, and you say, wow, you know, that dress looks fantastic on you. I'm going to guarantee if you say something nice to a more mature woman, and you know, you mean it, I think you're going to take at least a year off that person for that day. So someone else who seems to be aging backwards is our little Yorkie Hurricane, and he's got his little puppy cut now, and I think you really do look like a little puppy. You know, I really, you see how far the compliment goes. But no, when little Hurricane comes out, you know, he's 60 years old in human life, so human years. So anyway, when Hurricane comes up on the scene, it's time for me to talk about our future videos. And have you been over to our second new channel? It's at youtube.com/awesomeover50inspiration. We're really working hard over there to bring you food and travel and inspirational videos. And if you like what you see, we'd really appreciate it if you click on the subscribe button over there, and also click on the bell so you're notified when the new videos come out. And we're going to be talking about coffee coming up, and you know, you spend a lot of money and you spend a lot of time going to these coffee shops. Well, we got basically a coffee shop at our home, and we're going to share some of the things and the tips and tricks about that. And on this station, I'm going to go into the gray zone. I'm going to talk about transforming your hair, yes, into gray or silver, and how I'm finding it, the products that I'm using. And I think that should be a really good conversation, because, you know, it's like, should we do this coloring all the time or shouldn't we? And if you're on the fence, I think that's going to be a really good one for you. Oh yeah, and if you like this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click on the button below and also the bell, and that way you're notified about all the new videos that are coming out on this beauty and fashion and health kind of station. But you know, I really think it's important for us to just mentally think about aging backwards. And I hope a lot of these tips really help you to do that, because, you know, I want you to have that confidence. I want you to not dress like your grandmother used to dress when she was in her 50s and 60s. I want to go out there, and I want to see this kind of pro-age movement going on where we all just celebrate each other. We all just rock this world and we all just keep it awesome.